Hi Capricorn, welcome to your new moon solar eclipse reading in Aries for April 20th, 2023. New moons bring in new cycles. This one can last anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months because of the solar eclipse. So this is kind of like the bare bones, I would say, but it is getting things started, and a start is always the trajectory. So you may want to hold on to this, refer to it throughout the 6 month period, and you can kind of get an idea of where it's going anyway. As a theme for the next 2 weeks and possibly 6 months, you have the High Priestess card, which is not a bad one because it's about structure. First of all, it's your divinity, right? But beyond that, it is the structure that you build upon. And so understanding a structure is important to understand how you can build or what you can build around that structure or upon that structure. And it is the thing that holds everything up. So you should know very much what it is that you're building. And it's like the bare bones. It's the skeleton of it, right? On a divine level, that's your intuition and psychic abilities. But it's also things that are going on behind the scenes, right? The structure of a building is not the wood panels and the details of it. It's the iron and the stone and the foundations, and it's that kind of structure. It's what the details are placed upon. So we're not going to get overly detailed, I think, in your situation. Moreover, it's spirituality, it's intuition. You can be reflective at this time. It's your psychic abilities, your inner knowing. I think it's wisdom. And it is your wisdom that you build upon, right? That you use as foundation for your life. Or it certainly should be. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Okay, nice. You have the Ten of Pentacles. So this can be your daily life, but it can also be family structure, like hierarchy, because you have the grandfather, the parents, the child, the pets, and all within this sort of community. So that's what I mean by it's your daily life. It's the people that you deal with on a daily basis, that you see at the market, at your barista, but it can also be family members, and there can be communication between all these people, as well as financial negotiations. But it's a lot. And it's also it's your legacy. What do you want to leave the world when you're gone? How do you want them to speak about you? What do you want them to say about you? What do you want to leave behind? Yeah, so I do feel like there's a lot of communication with the Knight of Wands. There can be a lot of communication through family members, community. Does feel very community-like, whatever that is to you. But this is a lot of messages that go in and out, and it's usually done via text, email. It's electronic, right? 'Cause this is fire, so it's electronic devices, phone calls, emails, text messages, video chats. You could be conversing with a lot of people, and it can be just on daily stuff. The Ten of Pentacles is the dailies. It's what you do every day. So yeah, you could even be like the plumber, or if you're fixing up the house, talking to the contractors, it's that kind of energy, talking to the builders, to the contractors, to the architects, that kind of thing. We'll get more on that in a minute. You are behaving as a Taurus, a Page of Swords. So there is definitely clarity necessary here. He is using his high intellect, but also very busy, trying to find answers to his problems or finding solutions to situations that he doesn't know yet. So it's a page, right? He's young, he's trying to find it out, he's trying to figure it out. It's not necessarily my student card, it's more like my detective card. But it is Taurus, so for me, they really work hard and diligently to figure it out. So that's what I mean by detective. It just goes above and beyond, excuse me, what you do. It's not just Googling stuff, right? He's actually maybe going to the architect and saying, okay, I want to build a particular thing. What's the right way? What's that kind of energy? Well, this is really nice pairing with the magician to the high priestess because they are the steps. So the magician is the vision, the magician is the concept, right? And everything that comes after that will be compared to that original vision, that original concept that you have of what it is that you are talking to everybody about. And you know, it could even be a a bigger vision of how community should be, or within your community, um, creating your own community where the magician is concerned. Um, so the magician is your vision, your concept, and the high priestess is the structure that you'll build around that vision or concept. Interesting. Um, Obviously, the magician is the manifestation card as well. So it is associated with Mercury, your words, right? Your words have impact here. You shall decree a thing and it shall be. That's the magician. I decree this. I am channeling life force. I will be the conduit and it will grow right here. Right? So he's taking the concept, the idea of the perfect rose, right? The perfect garden, and manifesting it here on the earth, on the ground, really creating it. The difference is that you have the lily with that. And while this is eternal, the idea, the concept is eternal. Things go through cycles here, right? You have life and you have death. But it's eternal, right? It's eternal. All right. So with that, you have the Five of Wands as a result. It is definitely building something. They are trying to build a pentagram here, the five of them. But a few people can go rogue and have their own idea of how this pentagram should look or point, or, you know, maybe we don't make a pentagram, maybe we make a square, or maybe, you know, maybe we shouldn't make anything at all, or everybody has their own idea of how this structure should be built, because we are talking community here, right? And whatever that means to you. And the Five of Wands can then cause some agitation or challenges, but it's lighter. It's not as heavy. It's not like the tower challenges or that kind of thing. It's just everybody has their own way of wanting this thing to go in what direction. And yeah, again, five is instability, and it pushes us to find the balance. So it's very progressive, but it is a roller coaster ride. It is change. Five is change. And so maybe people want to change things up. Maybe the status quo is no longer useful, and you're looking for ways to make that change. You have ideas. You have a concept. Now you have the Nine of Wands with that. The agitation that you can feel, the inner conflict or outer conflict that you feel, is progressive with the Nine of Wands, because the Nine of Wands is, for me, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Now, here's a very interesting thing. This card has staged cards, right? He's on a stage, and this is a skirm that is painted. Something maybe isn't as it appears. Maybe it is something that is staged. There's a few cards that are like this. I don't know that anyone has ever figured out what that means, other than Pamela Smith was part of theater. She would paint backgrounds and that sort of thing. She was an artist. I'm not sure if she acted or not, but she was around artisans and actors and thespians. And so this kind of comes into play here a little bit, I think. And sometimes we think maybe people can be acting or acting out, right? But this card really is what doesn't kill me, makes me stronger. I don't know, that really stands out to me. So you may discover that something was not as it seems, as if there were actors involved, or people who people in situations that were placed there on purpose. But this is resilience, right? We're almost at the end of a cycle with the 9. 10 is the end, obviously, but 10 is really the end while starting something simultaneously. The 9 is gathering those forces, gathering that information and the experiences that we've had, so that we can digest what just happened. And what this person is saying is, I've been through the battle. I've been through it all. I've seen it all. I know it. I've seen it. And now you can't do anything else to me, right? You're at the end of the cycle, and I'm wiser for it, and I'm ready for you. So bring it, kind of energy. But it is resilience. All right, let's get some specifics, because this seems quite broad to me. Even though I do think you have a vision and you have a concept of things. And I think maybe what we can look at here is with the 5 and the 9, that towards the end of the cycle, you've been through it, you've gone through a lot of things, and your energy could be wearing a little thin by the end of the 6 months, but you would have learned so much, and you would be so much stronger for it. That agitation, it is really like divine discontent that makes things change. And you're bringing it to a close, Capricorn. All right, let's get some specifics. Obviously, it's a general reading, so I can't really get specific, or I'd leave a lot of people out. The Star card. Okay. Yeah, this is also a vision for the future. Hope. It's hopium. It's what is available to one person is available to everybody, but the experience always runs back into the greater collective. For me, this is associated with Aquarius, and Aquarius is about information for me. And that's what I mean by information is available to you. And there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of information going back and forth. But the Star card is mostly that information gives hope, right? There's a better future involved in what we're talking about, what community wants to do with this. And this can be around finances, and there's some shaky financial stuff happening right now. So I do think that things will be restructured, and hopefully not to our detriment, right? So there is sort of this restructuring thing happening, and you could be at the center of it, Capricorn, or you can be very much involved with it. You are an earth sign, so Yeah. Earth is about finance. And again, structure, right? What's the structure? What are we going to build upon? And we have to know that. We have to have a clear idea of the structure. Otherwise, you're building on sand. Courage. Courage, inner strength. So it's almost like you have to have the courage for this vision. You have to pull up great inner strength to understand or to work through this situation. And you will, because you have the Magician card, and that is will. That's your willpower. It is the I am. So I am courageous. I am strong. I am knowledgeable. And if I don't, I am able to find the information. But this is mustering up the courage, mustering up the strength to do that, to put your concept and your ideas out into the larger world, or even on an internal level. Major Arcana is about the internal, but that is always reflected back at you from the external. Yeah, it's the end of difficult mental situations. You have 2 tens. You are definitely at the end of a cycle here, while simultaneously beginning something new. And 2 of Swords is looking for peace of mind. Your perspective has everything to do with this card. Is the sun rising? Is it setting? What we do know is we're looking for peace. Peace of mind. So, for me, it feels like it is the end of difficult mental situations, of agitation, of inner conflict and outer conflict, and of kind of a defensive energy. And that's good, because this is where we're heading. This is the new beginning, because new moons start new cycles, and this is an interesting cycle that you're beginning, and it's hopeful. And it seems to move quick with that Knight of Wands. That's a really erratic, fast-paced energy. And I think you really want to understand what's going on here. And you will go to great lengths to figure that out. What does Spirit want you to know? You're unstoppable. You are unstoppable. You have courage. You can focus. There can be some unpredictable changes where things were kind of meandering and aimless. You can find the structure in it when you focus and be a little less impulsive. So it kind of goes quite well with this card, with the Page of Swords, still in the same family. But this is the knight in shining armor that comes in to save the day. So there is something that comes in quite quickly to save the day. Yeah. It looks positive. And these are the things that we're finishing up. That inner conflict or agitation, that things just aren't right. And the Nine of Wands of feeling like we have to be on the defensive all the time. That can be very tiring. And it has tired you out with that Ten of Swords. I do want to pull one more for that. High Priestess. You have to connect to your divinity. You don't have to. You're being advised to connect with your divinity and go back to the structure of things, to restructuring something. Maybe the way you understand something needs restructuring, because swords are about the mind and action, so thought and action. These are secrets. These are things that are going on behind the scenes that may come up to the surface. And that can throw you off or cause some agitation. But it's divine. It's divine discontent. And it's moving us somewhere much, much better. The future looks bright. Okay? Thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. I will return in 2 weeks with a full moon reading, and I do dailies. I'm really grateful that you're listening, and I hope that it helps. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.